It's time for a new toy. This time we're talking about smartphones. And to be absolutely honest with you, I do not like smartphones at all, especially those which do not have a keyboard. All my previous phones had a physical keyboard and I have pre-ordered the Astro Slider as my next phone and it still didn't arrive. Currently I'm using two phones. One which is the HTC Desire Z, which has a vertical sliding keyboard. This phone is from 2010 and I use it for basic stuff like phone calls, SMS and offline car navigation. It runs on Android 4.4. My other phone is the BlackBerry Priv, which has a vertical sliding keyboard. That one is from 2015. It's also quite old, but it can run all the apps I need. It seems like there is some kind of short circuit beneath the keyboard. As the keyboard backlight stopped working, the phone gets pretty warm and the battery gets drained after just having it in standby for a few hours. Also, the GPS seems to be broken and it loses the contact to the SIM card quite often. Currently, I'm switching between both phones, using that one as my daily driver and turning that on if I need any of the advanced functionalities. Security is not a huge problem for me, as both of those phones are rarely connected to the internet and I do not browse the web with them. I do almost anything with my GPD Win Max 2, as I really do not like phones. In my anticipation of getting an Astro Slider and my huge dislike of touchscreen only phones, I went with this crappy solution for quite a long time now. Luckily, this situation annoyed me so much that even I decided to get a new smartphone. What is inside this box is a smartphone that has no keyboard, but is so cool that even I turned off my brain immediately when I saw this and instantly purchased it. I have not opened up the package yet and I have not seen the phone in real life yet. So let's open this up together and hope for the best. It's the IIIF150 B1 Pro. And there we have it. The monster won't come out of its cage. So what exactly is this? This is not only a smartphone, this is a whole toolbox. This is one of those rugged smartphones which is hopefully pretty much indestructible. It's dustproof, it's shockproof, it's waterproof. You can hold this thing underwater 1.5 meters and take underwater pictures with this. That is still nothing special, so what was the reason for me to buy this? The first reason was the battery. This phone has a 10,000 mAh battery. Yes, 10,000. And you can use this phone as a power bank to charge up another phone or whatever. The second reason, and that is even cooler, is that this phone has a true infrared night vision camera. You see, here is the infrared light and here is the 20 megapixel real night vision camera. That means this night vision is not some kind of fancy low light photo mode. No, this night vision is true night vision and you can take pictures in absolute pitch black without any light surrounding you. being a pervert and stalking the girls has never been that easy. The third reason to buy this was the price. I got this cool phone for just 220 euro. What sets this apart a little bit from your other rugged phones is that it has a secondary LCD on the back side, which shows the battery health, the current date and the current time. The camera on this phone is 48 megapixel, so hopefully the quality won't be too crappy. If you take all those features into account, I think that this phone delivers a nice and unique experience for the price I paid. The phone runs Android 12 and the Android is pretty much stock Android, so hopefully I do not have to do too much cleanup. The flashlight of this is made out of 3 LEDs and the manufacturer claims that the LED is much brighter than on other phones. Internally, the phone has a gyroscope, a compass and all the other things you find in your basic rugged phones. The drawback of this is that there is no headphone jack. I always like having a headphone jack on my phone in case I want to connect it to some kind of stereo speakers. However, as I mentioned earlier, I most of the time have my GPD Win Max 2 with me and my music is on that device and it has a headphone jack. So this drawback is not a huge one for me. Also, this phone is quite cheap for what you get and I'm not sure if this phone will live as long as the other phones I have. Regarding the processor and the RAM, you can see the values up there. It is more than enough for what I want to do with this phone. The processor does not contain any big cores, so this phone will not deliver high-end performance. For me, this doesn't matter at all, as all I want is efficiency. I do not plan to play any games on this phone. All I want to do is some messaging, some navigation and to use the cool gadgets like the night vision. It's funny to imagine how some people consider me brain dead when I take my two Win Max 2 and throw them against each other. I consider it brain dead to purchase a smartphone which costs above 1000 euro when you can get such a cool tool for just 200. So let's check the force boot experience. There we are. I will set this up and will come back to you later. What a shame it doesn't offer start page as a search engine. There we are. Quite an empty smartphone. Not many apps installed, but that's exactly how I like it. Here is the back screen. Nice. I will clean up the operating system, try to get root access and probably clean up all the Google spyware. One day later, here we are again. I finished the setup and played a little bit with my new toy. Thanks to the wonderful people of the Android routing subreddit, I've even managed to root this phone. I'll leave the link to the subreddit and the proposed solution which worked for me in the video description. Finally, after all those years, I'm the master of my phone again. I've never managed to root the BlackBerry Priv, as that one was too well protected. During rooting, I had to unlock the bootloader, which wiped my whole install, and I had to do the setup once again, so it took me a little longer than expected. Speaking about the BlackBerry Priv, man, this phone is a bloody joke compared to that one. I mean, come on, just look at this. How small it is, how tiny this is. It feels so bad now once I got used to the big one. Man, this is so good in my hands. And this is nothing. This feels like nothing. How can people use those super flat phones? That's the real deal. Just look at this. This is what you want. Of course, one of the first things I did was to take this phone, dump it into the water and take a few underwater pictures. And of course, I took it and threw it on the ground, and I'm super happy that I finally have a device which is intended to be beaten up. This is Sparta! It's pretty epic how they managed to get the worst font for the clock and the date I've ever seen. Come on, just try to read this. This 4 looks like a P, this 5 looks like whatever, and they used this font for the front and for the small back display. This font is such a fail. What I'm missing is some kind of LED in the front. My old phone has a LED here somewhere, which blinks blue whenever I get a Telegram message or something. That one seems not to have this. The camera is quite mediocre. It does its job as long as you don't zoom in. For me, that is completely fine. I just need it for an occasional picture or to scan a QR code. For others who are used to better Samsung cameras, this one might probably be not satisfying. The night vision works brilliant. I have no use for this, but I love it. I love it so much. Hello ladies, we're in pitch black darkness here. I won't be able to see you, so let me help you pull off your clothes. I'm a gentleman after all, you know? Are you a gentleman and want to enjoy the best views out there? Then get the Big Daddy's best friend. Like and subscribe like a real gentleman. Here at the side and at the bottom we have a holder for a lanyard, so this device will be the next candidate for the big swing. Don't worry about this display being annoying at night. It will turn off after a few seconds when the device lies flat on the surface. For me, it's a nice bonus that this phone supports up to 18 watt fast charging. That means it's compatible with the official charger that comes with the GPD Win Max 2. Also, the phone will charge if I plug it into the cellular USB dock I have reviewed in another video. My verdict after one day with this phone is the following. This phone does all I need, and it's super fun having a phone like this. This phone is probably the only phone out there which has no keyboard, and I like nevertheless. Oh yeah! I will come back to you in a few weeks or month and tell you if this phone holds up to the great first impression or if it fails miserably. After all, this feature-packed phone did only cost me 220 euro, and I don't know what to expect from this price tag in the long run. See you next time. Bye bye.